in some ways, an independent Somaliland is in the interest of all Somali peoples. It's a place where they can come and do business. It's a place where they can seek security. It's a place where they can trade with the outside world. It's a place where they can educate their children. So until all Somalis, wherever they live, see that it is actually in their personal and family's interest to have this country called Somaliland independent, where they can benefit from, that's the point, I think, at which the rest of the international community will also turn towards Somaliland and said, you're actually a solution to a lot of people's problems in the region and internationally.
Another Savior, holy, 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 another Savior.
In the days following Israel's recognition of Somaliland, three powerful and conflicting narratives have emerged. One from Israel's prime minister defending the decision, one from Somalia's president alleging hidden conditions behind it, and one from Somaliland's military leadership welcoming the move while rejecting any claims of secret deals. Welcome to the Africa News Channel. Please take a moment to like this video, share it, and subscribe so you don't miss our continued coverage of Africa's most important geopolitical developments. Speaking in an interview just days after the recognition, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu offered his clearest justification yet. According to Netanyahu, Somaliland has demonstrated something rare in the Horn of Africa: long-term internal peace, functioning institutions, and a history of elections since declaring independence in 1991. He contrasted this with Somalia, which he said has struggled for decades with insecurity and has not conducted a truly stable nationwide electoral process in many years.
Not only for our benefit, but for America's benefit as well.
Okay, one last question, because now you have to go. Somaliland. I had to look it up on the map. You have recognized Somaliland. You are the first nation to do so. Now that I know where it is, I studied a little history for it, but why? What provoked that and the timing?
Well, Somaliland has 6 million citizens, moderate Muslims. They want to join the Abraham Accords, and I think that's very good. They are Democrats. They've had elections. The rest of Somalia, which is Kochbaj, has had al-Shabaab terrorists there. Never had elections since for decades. Got a lot of terrorists coming there. So why not support democratic, moderate country, Muslim country that wants to join the Abraham Accords? I think everybody should do that.
But I guess
if we have to be first.
I guess we didn't see it coming, and you're the first nation, and I'm going, Somaliland?
Yeah, Somaliland, yeah.
All right. Well, I'll have to go visit Somaliland. I take you can help me get a interview with the president.
I'll do my best.
All right. Thank you, sir. It's always nice to see you, and nice to see you here in the United States.
Thank you, and I can say this: Merry Christmas to all our Christian friends around the world, but equally a Happy New Year to all. And I hope it'll be a safer and more peaceful and more prosperous year. For Israel, it's been quite that, but we want it for everyone.
Thank you.
Those who want our friendship have it, and those who oppose us and want to obliterate us, they'll fail.
It will indeed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Netanyahu framed Israel's decision not as an emotional or ideological move, but as a recognition of what he called political reality on the ground. In his words, Somaliland has behaved like a state for over 3 decades, and Israel simply acknowledged that reality. But this immediately raises a difficult question. If stability and elections are now the standard for recognition, why has Somaliland waited over 30 years? And why is Israel the first to act? After this explanation from Israel, the narrative took a sharp turn. In a separate interview with Al Jazeera, Somalia's president rejected Israel's reasoning outright and made far more serious claims. He alleged that Israel's recognition of Somaliland was tied to conditions, not principles. According to him, the move was linked to strategic and security interests, not democratic values, and he warned that it threatens Somalia's sovereignty and the fragile balance of the Horn of Africa.
3 important steps has been agreed with the Somaliland. Number 1 is the relocation of the Palestinians to the territory. And number 3 is providing a military base, Israel, in the Gulf of Aden coast. And number 3 is Somaliland to join the Abraham Accord. That's the 3 demands of Israel, and Somaliland has accepted. That's what the information that we had. So it's not only one or the other. And then if that three is implemented, what's going to be next is opening a Pandora box, really.
These allegations ignited outrage inside Somalia, where many citizens see the recognition as an external attempt to legitimize the division of their country. Protests, diplomatic pressure, and strong statements followed, with Somalia insisting that no country has the right to recognize Somaliland outside a negotiated settlement. This is where the story becomes even more complex. In a New Year address, the spokesperson of the Somaliland Armed Forces publicly acknowledged Israel's recognition and welcomed it as a historic validation of Somaliland's long struggle for international legitimacy. He emphasized that Somaliland has maintained peace through its own efforts, not foreign backing, and stated that any cooperation with Israel would focus on security, stability, and preserving peace, not undermining neighboring countries.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. My name is Captain Usman Abdi Heibe on the Somaliland National Army. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the men and women in uniform here in Somaliland and the people we proudly serve, we extend our deepest gratitude to the State of Israel. It is government under the leadership of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and to the people of Israel for the historic recognition of the Republic of Somaliland as an independent and sovereign state. This moment conveys profound meaning for both of our countries. Somaliland and Israel, a nation is forged through hardship, resilience, and sacrifice. We have faced relentless opposition, powerful adversaries, and sustained efforts to deny our right to exist in peace and dignity. We have confronted terrorism on multiple occasions, proxy wars, economic blockade, and political isolation, sometimes all of these at once. Yet we endured. Through discipline, unity, and unbreakable commitment to our homeland, we survived and prevailed. Our histories reflect similar struggle and strength. We know what it means to defend our people against greater forces, to stand firm when recognition is delayed, and to build stability in regions where chaos was expected. This recognition honors our long and unwavering record of perseverance. Somaliland's National Army welcomes the new chapter of mutual recognition and cooperation between the Republic of Somaliland and the State of Israel. Partnerships in agriculture, health, education, technology, security, and economic development will transform both of our countries and contribute to regional stability and innovation. These ties will benefit not only our countries, but also our citizens, our youth, and the generations yet to come. History has shown that recognition between states ensures stability, rewards peace, and encourages lawful and responsible statehood. Together, we call upon other countries to follow Israel's principled example, to recognize the Republic of Somaliland based on facts, peace, a record of democracy, and responsible governance. Finally, to the people and leadership of Israel, thank you for standing on the right side of history. Thank you for recognizing the potential and promise that many who claim to be our brothers and sisters have failed to acknowledge. Thank you for honoring our right to self-determination. Your decision, which makes you the first country to officially recognize the Republic of Somaliland as a sovereign state since 1991, will be enshrined in our history books and forever held in our hearts. The anniversary of December 26, 2025 will be remembered and celebrated each year by Somalilanders across the globe with respect and honor. May our partnership grow stronger, and may peace and security guide both our nations forward. May the Almighty Allah bless and protect the blessed Republic of Somaliland and its allies from evil and envious enemies forever. Thank you so very much.
Crucially, Somaliland's leadership has denied claims that recognition came with secret conditions or agreements, insisting that the relationship with Israel is diplomatic, transparent, and based on mutual respect. So now Africa and the world are left with three sharply different versions of the same event. Israel says this is about peace and governance. Somalia says this is about strategy and interference. Somaliland says this is about long-delayed justice and recognition. After this point, many viewers are asking themselves where the truth really lies. If you believe stories like this deserve careful, independent analysis, you can support the Africa News Channel by joining the channel membership or sending a super thanks to help us keep bringing you these updates. Beyond the immediate arguments, the implications are profound. If Israel's move stands, and if other countries follow, Somaliland's recognition could reshape how borders, sovereignty, and self-determination are treated across Africa. But if the backlash grows stronger, this decision could also deepen regional tensions and harden divisions in the Horn of Africa. The real question now is not just whether Somaliland will gain more recognition, but whether this moment exposes a deeper inconsistency in the global system. Why do some regions remain unrecognized for decades despite stability, while others gain legitimacy overnight through strategic alignment?
The West is very bad at looking at the third world. It's very bad at looking at unsuccessful societies and economies and polities. And the entire response to Somaliland really drives that point home. Somaliland is a de facto independent state in the Horn of Africa. It is basically northern Somalia up until 1991. It declared independence in 1991, and since 1991, it has functioned to an astonishing extent, more than you could possibly demand or ask for as a separate polity. It has its own government, parliament, courts. It has its own army. It has its own currency, the Somaliland shilling. It has elections, not perfect elections, sometimes delayed elections, but repeated, fair, open elections with real campaigns by opposition parties. It controls its territory. That already puts it in a different category from a whole lot of internationally recognized states. And I'm not just talking about the Palestinians. Somaliland is ethnically Somali. It is overwhelmingly Sunni Muslim. It is clan-based. It's poor. Just like, by the way, Somalia. There's nothing civilizationally different about Somaliland from Somalia. It's the same people. So why is it stable? Why is it more or less free? Why is it not radicalizing than Somalia proper? There's no al-Shabaab. There's no permanent civil war. Its currency is more stable, even though it isn't traded in the international currency markets because it's not a recognized state. Are you getting this? The scale of the competence and the seriousness. Somaliland was the part of Somalia controlled originally by the British. And Somalia was the part of Somalia controlled initially by the Italians. They were separate colonial entities. They united voluntarily in 1960 to form the Somali Republic. It was a union of two distinct polities. But that union did very bad things for the northern part of that union, meaning Somaliland. And in the 1980s, it became brutal, violent, and authoritarian. There were bombings of northern cities, including Hargeisa, and tens of thousands of civilians were killed. So when the Somali state very quickly collapsed in 1991, Somaliland spent the next 30-odd years free, happy, and far more stable and prosperous than Somalia. And it did it all without international recognition, without ever becoming dependent on aid, without peacekeepers. This should make us uncomfortable because it breaks a lot of the dogmas of the development industry. The Bab el-Mandeb Strait, one of the world's most strategic shipping lanes, where the lack of maritime security massively hurt the European markets. Being able to counter that from a separate state that is stable and free is not a small thing. Why would you turn that down? Why isn't it being recognized by every European country that doesn't want shipping from China to be hindered at the drop of a hat whenever the Houthis decide? Somaliland is a Muslim society that actively rejects jihadist governance, that cooperates on security, that has internally suppressed extremist groups. That's how the world should be run. Somaliland's borders are clear. They're historically grounded. They're not expansionist. Somaliland exists. Somaliland deserves to exist. Yes, Somalia is internationally recognized, but it doesn't function as a sovereign state in its own territory. Somaliland is not recognized, but it does function as one. What does it tell countries in the world? What does it tell governing elites in the world? Somaliland proves that Somalia is a choice. They're the same people. They're the same religion. So why do they have such radically different political outcomes? The variable is culture in the political sense. Institutions, incentives, elite behavior. Maybe that's why there's so much resistance to the idea that Somaliland should be recognized for the success story and also the rescue story. that it is. If you're hearing echoes of Israel, good. Somaliland is not a miracle. It's not perfect. It's not Western at all. It is real. The refusal to recognize it tells us less about Somaliland and more about how uncomfortable we are as Westerners. Well, you are, I'm Israeli, with admitting that statehood is earned. There has to be a state built out to make statehood useful and not catastrophic.
Disclaimer: this report is for informational and analytical purposes only. It does not promote any political position, but presents multiple perspectives on an evolving geopolitical issue. And as this story continues to unfold, one thing is clear. In global politics, recognition is rarely just about borders. It is about power, timing, and who controls the narrative. And the Horn of Africa may now be entering a chapter that will redefine its future for years to come.